Peak English Podcast.
From Peak English with Class.
Okay, look. It's not that I don't respect the clock. It's just that the clock and I have very different definitions of what a minute actually is.
A minute is 60 seconds, Sarah. It is a universal, scientifically proven fact. It doesn't change just because you want it to.
Not in my house, it isn't. In my house, a minute means anything from exactly 60 seconds to 3 business days.
Well, if you are listening to this right now and you also live in a magical time zone where 5 minutes actually means half an hour,
Or if you are currently running to catch your bus while holding a half-eaten piece of toast and hoping nobody looks at your messy hair.
you are in a safe space. We understand you completely. Welcome back to Peak English, your cozy place to learn easy English through real conversations. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sarah.
Today, we are diving into something that stresses out every single adult on the planet: time. Specifically, how we talk about it when everything goes completely off schedule, and the exact phrases native speakers use to survive the chaos.
Because, let's be honest, nobody's life perfectly follows a schedule. And your English shouldn't sound like a strict timetable either. We are going to give you the real, messy, human words we use every day.
Right. Later in the episode, we will take you through our word tour to lock in the best vocabulary we use today.
And you definitely want to stay until the very end for our Say It Better segment. We are going to take those stiff, robotic sentences you learn in textbooks and make your English sound effortlessly natural.
Oh, and just a quick note before we jump in. This is a relaxed B1, B2 episode.
That means if we talk a little fast or you miss a vocabulary word, please don't panic. Just keep hanging out with us. You can always rewind and listen again later while you are folding your laundry.
Or actively ignoring your laundry. We completely support that choice too. But first, we want to know how your day is going right now.
Yes! Tell us in the comments, are you the person who is always early, or are you the one who is always apologizing for being late?
Drop a comment below. Something like, "I'm Kenji from Japan, and I am literally always 10 minutes early to everything." We read every single comment, and we love seeing where you are all listening from.
All right, Alex, let's tackle the biggest lie we tell ourselves every single morning. Let's talk about the textbook versus reality.
I'm ready. What is the textbook telling us today?
In a classroom, you learn to text your friend and say, I am going to be delayed for our scheduled meeting.
Oh, wow. If someone sent me that text, I would honestly assume their phone was hacked by an artificial intelligence.
Right? It is so formal. It sounds like a train station announcement. But honestly, I need a good phrase for this because I have a serious problem with mornings.
Let me guess, you suffer from the just one more thing syndrome?
Exactly. I will have exactly 20 minutes before I need to leave the apartment. Instead of simply putting on my shoes and grabbing my bag, my brain says, Sarah, this is the perfect time to completely reorganize your entire bookshelf by color.
And then suddenly you are sitting on the floor surrounded by 50 books, and you are supposed to be meeting me for breakfast.
Yes, and the panic sets in. My heart starts beating fast, I am throwing books back on the shelf, and I realize I cannot hide the truth anymore. I have to text you.
But you don't say "I am delayed." You use the most common, most natural phrase in the English language.
I text you and say, I'm so sorry, I'm running late.
Running late. It is a masterpiece of a phrase.
Why do we love it so much? Because technically, I am not physically running. I am usually just standing in the middle of my living room looking for my keys.
We use running because it shows action. It shows that you are actively fighting against the clock. The schedule is moving away from you, and you are trying your best to catch up.
It feels so much softer than saying, I am late.
Exactly. Saying "I am late" is a final fact. It means you have already failed. But saying "I am running late" means the story isn't over yet. You are still trying to fix the problem.
It gives the person waiting for you a little bit of hope.
Even if that hope is built on a lie.
Hey, I always get there eventually. But let's picture a specific moment, a real-life example for our listeners.
Okay, let's zoom in. It's last Thursday. You are trying to leave the house.
I am standing by the front door. I have my coat on, but I cannot find my phone. I am emptying my entire bag onto the floor. Keys, old receipts, 3 different lipsticks, but no phone.
You can feel the sweat on your forehead.
Yes, I am literally asking my cat, where did I put it? Did you take it? The cat just stares at me, so I finally find it under a pillow on the sofa. I grab it and I quickly type to you, don't order food yet, I'm running late.
And on the other side of town, I received that text. I am sitting at the cafe. I have my giant steel thermos of weird herbal tea with me, as always.
The tea that smells like wet grass.
It is incredibly healthy, Sarah. It gives me sustained energy. Anyway, I am sitting there on a cold metal chair outside the cafe. I get your text.
And you instantly forgive me?
Of course. But now I have a problem. I have 20 minutes of completely empty time. I didn't bring a book. I don't want to start working on our podcast script on my phone.
So, what do you do?
I watch a pigeon fighting with another pigeon over a tiny piece of bread. Then I open my phone and scroll through pictures of beautiful cabins in the mountains that I will never buy.
You are doing absolutely nothing productive.
Correct. I have no purpose. I am just trying to make the 20 minutes pass faster. I am killing time.
Killing time. It is such a strange, slightly aggressive idiom.
It really is poor time. We just attack it because we are bored.
But it is perfectly descriptive. When you have a gap in your schedule and you have to wait for something to happen, you kill time.
Think about being at the airport. You arrive way too early because you were terrified of missing your flight.
Oh, I love airport time. It's fake time.
You have 3 hours before boarding. What do? You slowly walk through the duty-free shops. You look at giant Toblerone chocolate bars.
You try on expensive sunglasses and take a selfie, and then carefully put them back on the shelf.
Exactly. You aren't really shopping. You are just killing time until they call your flight number.
Sometimes it's nice to just kill time. We live in a world where everyone wants us to be productive 100% of the day.
But when your friend is running late or your train is delayed, you have a free excuse to do absolutely nothing important.
So if you are sitting in a waiting room at the dentist and you are just reading an old magazine from 2 years ago, you are killing time. It's a wonderful phrase.
So we've covered the panic of running late and the boredom of killing time, but what happens when you are actually deeply focused on your work and someone tries to interrupt you?
Oh, I have very strong feelings about this. Let's get into our third phrase. Okay, so we know what to say when we are running late, and we know how to describe doing nothing while we kill time.
Right, we've covered the waiting. But let's flip the situation. Let's talk about when you are actually working and everything is going perfectly. You are completely focused.
Ah, the rare and beautiful state of deep focus. It only happens to me when the moon is perfectly aligned with Jupiter, but when it happens, it feels amazing.
You are entirely in the zone. Your brain is clicking. You are writing that email or studying for that big test, and the words are just flowing.
And then the absolute worst thing happens.
Someone knocks on your door, or your coworker taps you on the shoulder.
The bubble pops. My brain instantly feels a wave of irritation. I want to turn around and yell, please do not speak to me for exactly 11 minutes so I don't forget this genius idea.
But you are a polite member of society, so you cannot yell at them. Instead, we use a tiny, incredibly useful phrase to push them away gently.
We smile, a very tight smile, and say, I'll be with you in a bit.
In a bit. It is the universal sound of a busy person asking for space.
The funny thing about a bit is that it isn't a real measurement of time. How long is a bit? Is it 2 minutes?
That is the secret magic of the phrase, Sarah. A bit could be 5 minutes. It could be 20 minutes. It is intentionally vague.
When I was a kid, if my dad was fixing the car and said, I'll come inside in a bit, that meant we were going to eat dinner without him.
Fathers definitely have their own special time zone. But in everyday life, in a bit just means soon, but please don't rush me. It's a soft promise.
Let's give our listeners a real picture. Paint the scene for us, Alex.
Okay, it was last Tuesday evening. I was sitting at my desk right here in the studio. The only light was the glow of my computer monitor.
Were you drinking that weird grassy tea from your giant metal thermos?
Obviously, the thermos was right next to my keyboard. I was staring at a very complicated audio file for our podcast. I was trying to remove the sound of a police siren from the background.
You probably had your intense editing frown on your face.
I absolutely did. My shoulders were tense, my eyes were burning. I was so close to fixing it. And then my roommate walked into the room, holding a pizza menu. He started asking me if I wanted pepperoni or mushrooms.
Oh no. The ultimate test of patience. Pizza versus focus.
I didn't even turn my head to look at him. I just kept my eyes on the screen, held up one finger and said, "Hey man, I'm almost done. I'll talk to you in a bit."
It's the perfect shield. It protects your focus without starting an argument over pepperoni.
Exactly. So, listener, if you are at work today, or maybe you are studying in the library, and someone interrupts your flow,
Don't get angry. Just take a breath, look at them, and say, I can help you in a bit. It instantly makes you sound natural and in control.
But I have a question for you, Sarah. What happens when a bit turns into 3 hours and your brain just stops working completely?
The wall. You hit the invisible wall of exhaustion.
Yes, let's talk about hitting the wall. When your coffee stops working and the words on your computer screen stop looking like English.
At that moment, you have a choice. You can drink more coffee and feel terrible, or you can use one of the most satisfying idioms we have.
You can call it a day.
Just hearing you say it makes me feel relaxed. Let's call it a day.
It essentially means, I am stopping my work right now. I am officially done until tomorrow.
I love it because it's like you're drawing a circle around whatever work you manage to finish, pointing at it and saying, that is enough. That equals one whole day.
Even if you only work for 3 hours.
Exactly. Sometimes a 3-hour day is all the energy you have. And this phrase isn't just for office jobs. You can use it for anything that takes effort.
Okay, tell me a story. When was the last time you called it a day?
Oh, this is easy. Last Sunday, I decided I was going to be an amazing chef. I found this incredibly complicated recipe for homemade lasagna online.
Sarah, you don't even like cooking.
I know, but I was feeling ambitious. So, 4 p.m. My kitchen is completely covered in white flour. I have 3 different pots boiling on the stove. There is tomato sauce on the ceiling. I don't even know how it got on the ceiling.
A beautiful disaster.
I was sweating. I dropped a spoon on the floor. I looked at the mess looked back at me, and I suddenly realized I was miserable.
So what did you do?
I turned off all the stoves. I washed my hands. I looked at my cat, who was judging me from the corner of the room, and I said out loud, "Nope, I'm calling it a day." And then I ordered a pizza.
That is the absolute perfect usage. You didn't finish the lasagna, but you finished trying.
Sometimes it's closing the laptop. Sometimes it's turning off the stove. And sometimes it's just looking at the mess you made and deciding to walk away.
That is honestly a great rule for life. Knowing when to stop forcing things. Knowing when to just call it a day.
Listener, if you are pushing yourself too hard today, if you are exhausted, maybe this is your sign. It is okay to close the book. It is okay to call it a day and get some rest.
Because if you don't intentionally stop to rest, time is just going to slip away from you anyway. Which leads us to our final big phrase for this section.
This one always makes me a little bit nostalgic.
Me too. It's for those moments when time feels like it is moving entirely too fast. We say, time flies.
Time flies. Like a bird or an airplane taking off into the clouds. Once it's in the air, you can't catch it.
The full traditional proverb is, time flies when you're having fun. But in casual conversation, we just shorten it. We shake our heads, look at the clock, and say, wow, time flies.
I feel this the most on Sunday nights.
Oh, the Sunday evening blues, the absolute worst.
You wake up on Saturday morning and the weekend feels huge. It feels like this big open field of freedom.
You make a massive list of plans. You are going to clean the apartment, read a novel, go for a long walk in the park.
And then you blink. You just blink your eyes once, and suddenly the sun is going down on Sunday. You are sitting on the couch, staring at the wall,
Monday morning is creeping up behind you.
and you just whisper to yourself, time really flies.
It is the universal shock of being an adult. But it's not always a sad feeling. Sometimes it's a really joyful surprise.
That's true. Think about catching up with a really good friend you haven't seen in a long time.
Yes, you meet at a restaurant for dinner at 6 p.m. You start talking, sharing stories, laughing so hard your stomach hurts.
You don't check your phone for hours.
And then the waiter comes over. He starts sweeping the floor and putting the chairs up on the tables. You look at your watch, and it's suddenly 11:30 p.m.
5.5 hours passed, and it felt like 20 minutes.
You walk out into the cold night air, hug your friend goodbye, and say, I can't believe it's almost midnight. Time really flew tonight.
That is the best kind of time traveling.
It really is. All right, let's take a breath. We've talked about running late, killing time, doing things in a bit, calling it a day, and watching time fly.
My brain is feeling very full, Alex. That's a lot of native phrases.
Don't worry, we are going to organize it all for you. Up next, we need to do a quick recap, and then we have our Say It Better segment where we fix those stiff textbook sentences. Okay, let's gather all these flying pieces of time and put them into a neat little box. We just threw a lot of vocabulary at you.
We really did. But remember, you don't need to memorize a dictionary to sound fluent. You just need a few of these everyday tools.
Exactly. So let's quickly retrace our steps. First, we talked about that mild morning panic when the clock is beating you, but you haven't given up yet. You are running late.
Next, we looked at those weird, empty gaps in the day. When you are waiting for a train and you just stare at a wall to make the minutes pass, you are killing time.
After that, we found the most polite shield in the English language. When you are deep in focus and need someone to wait for you, you say, I'll be with you in a bit.
Then we talked about surrender. When the lasagna is ruined, your brain is tired, and you just need to walk away. You call it a day.
And finally, we talked about the shock of watching the weekend disappear into thin air. When the hours just vanish, time flies.
5 tiny habits. 5 phrases that instantly make you sound less like a grammar robot and more like a human being living a messy life.
That is the perfect bridge into one of my absolute favorite segments of the podcast. It is time for Say It Better.
This is the part where we take the stiff, awkward sentences that you probably learned in a classroom, and we give them a major upgrade.
We want you to feel confident when you speak. We want your English to flow like you actually live in London or New York, not like you are reading instructions from a manual.
And please, if you currently use the learner sentences we are about to mention, do not feel bad. Honestly, everyone will still completely understand you.
Communication is the most important thing, but we are here to help you take that next step into natural fluency. So let's upgrade your English. Sarah, hit me with the first scenario.
Okay, picture this. You are stuck in a terrible Zoom meeting for work.
I already hate this scenario.
The meeting was supposed to end at 10 a.m. It is now 9:58 a.m., and your coworker is still talking about a project you do not care about. You need to end the meeting.
A learner might say, I have no more time.
Ooh, I have no more time sounds so dramatic. It sounds like you are the villain in an action movie and the countdown clock is hitting 0.
It is way too intense for a Tuesday morning corporate call. It creates a weird, aggressive energy.
You could say, I'm out of time, or I'm running out of time.
Much better. I'm running out of time shows that the clock is ticking, but you aren't angry about it. It is just a gentle fact. Okay, my turn.
Let's hear it.
You are at a friend's house for a dinner party. You ate the food, you had some laughs, but now it is 11 p.m. You are an adult who needs to sleep. You need to announce that you are leaving.
The absolute hardest part of any social event, the exit strategy.
A learner might say, I finish my stay now.
Oh my gosh. I finish my stay now. That sounds like you are formally checking out of a hospital.
Or ending a prison sentence. It is incredibly formal for a friend's living room.
You could say, I'm going to head out, or I should get going.
I should get going. That is brilliant. It softly prepares the host. You don't just stand up and run to the door. You give them a little warning.
All right, what is scenario number 3?
This one happens at work or school all the time. Your boss, or your professor, gives you a big assignment. You look at the instructions and you instantly realize you cannot finish it by Friday. You need until Monday.
My palms are sweating just thinking about this conversation.
A learner might say, I require a longer period to do this.
Grammatically, it is perfect. But emotionally, it sounds like a lawyer wrote it in a legal document. It's very cold.
Exactly. When you are asking for a favor, you want to sound warm and cooperative.
You could say, I need a little extra time, or could you give me a few more days?
I need a little extra time. It sounds so human. It acknowledges that you are struggling, but you are still committed to the work.
Perfect. Okay, let's do another one about speed. Imagine you haven't seen your cousin in 5 years. You finally meet for coffee and you talk for 3 hours straight.
A learner might say, the time passed very fast since we met.
It definitely gets the message across, but it lacks joy. It sounds a bit like a weather report.
You could say, time really flew by, or where did the time go?
I love where did the time go? It's a rhetorical question. It shows genuine surprise and happiness about the conversation.
It is something native speakers say all the time when they feel nostalgic. Okay, last one for today.
Make it a good one.
You are texting a friend. You agreed to meet at the park at 2 p.m. It is 1:50 p.m., and you are just finally locking your front door. You want to tell them you are leaving.
Basically a daily reality for me.
A learner might say, I am coming to the destination immediately.
That sounds like a police officer responding to a bank robbery over a radio. Coming to the destination immediately.
It's way too robotic for a sunny weekend at the park.
You could say, I'm on my way, or I'm heading out the door now.
I'm on my way is the absolute gold standard text message. It is short, sweet, universally understood, and perfectly natural.
So there you go. 5 clunky, awkward sentences completely upgraded into native-level phrases. Start using those and your conversations will feel so much lighter.
We are coming into the final stretch of our time together today, which means it is time for the word tour.
This is where we grab the absolute most important phrases from today's chat, slow them down, and give you a chance to practice speaking out loud.
Remember, listening to us is great for your brain, but actually moving your mouth is how you build muscle memory.
So if you are somewhere private, like in your kitchen or your car, please say these out loud with us.
And if you are sitting on a crowded train, maybe just whisper them into your scarf so people don't stare at you.
Let's start with our first phrase of the day, the classic morning panic.
Running late. Running late.
This simply means you are behind schedule, but crucially, you are actively trying to get to your destination. It is an ongoing, stressful process.
For example, you might text your boss, the traffic is terrible this morning, so I'm running late.
Or if you are trying to get off the phone with your mom. I have to go, Mom. I'm running late for my dentist appointment.
Let's practice. Repeat after me. The traffic is terrible, so I'm running late.
The traffic is terrible, so I'm running late. Beautiful. Let's move to the second phrase on our tour, the one we use for empty waiting periods.
Killing time. Killing time.
To kill time means to do something unimportant, simply to make the minutes pass while you are waiting for a real event to start.
Let's paint the picture. Sometimes it's scrolling through social media in the parking lot. Sometimes it's reading the ingredients on a cereal box. And sometimes it's just watching the rain hit the window.
Wow, that was surprisingly poetic for someone who drinks grass-flavored tea.
It is herbal, Sarah. And thank you. Here is a practical example sentence. We arrived at the movie theater early, so we walked around the block to kill some time.
Or, I was just killing time on my phone until the meeting started.
Your turn to speak. Repeat after me. We walked around to kill some time.
We walked around to kill some time. Excellent. Let's do one more before we wrap up this section. The perfect phrase for protecting your focus.
In a bit, in a bit.
This means soon, but it is beautifully vague. It doesn't trap you into a specific number of minutes.
For example, I am finishing this email, but I'll call you back in a bit.
Or, my roommate went to the grocery store, but he should be back in a bit.
Try it yourself. Put a little gentle boundary in your voice. Repeat after us. I'll call you back in a bit.
I'll call you back in a bit. Great job. We just have 2 more crucial phrases for the word tour, plus our final goodbyes.
All right, we are back. Let's pick right up with number 4 on our word tour. This one is probably my personal favorite because it is all about setting a healthy boundary.
Call it a day. Call it a day.
To call it a day means to stop what you are doing. You do this because you feel you have done enough work or simply because you are too exhausted to continue.
It is like hitting the pause button on your adult responsibilities. You aren't quitting forever. You are just quitting for today.
Exactly. We have to give ourselves permission to rest. You can't just work 24 hours a day.
I actually used this phrase just last night. I was trying to read this very serious, very thick historical novel before bed. I wanted to feel like a smart, intellectual person.
Oh, I know the exact book you were talking about. It weighs about 4 pounds. It could stop a door from closing.
It really could. It is a literal brick. So I was lying in bed, holding this giant book. I read the first paragraph. I was feeling great.
Okay, a strong start.
Then I read the second paragraph. My eyes started closing. I read the exact same sentence 3 times in a row, and I still didn't understand what it meant.
Your brain was officially rejecting the information. It was shutting down the system.
Completely. I tried to force myself to read for another 5 minutes, but then I looked at my very soft, very comfortable pillow.
The pillow always wins, Sarah. You cannot fight the pillow.
You really can't. I shut the heavy book, put it on the nightstand, and said out loud to my empty room, "Nope, I'm calling it a day." I was asleep 2 minutes later.
And there is absolutely zero shame in that. We have to listen to our bodies when they tell us to stop.
Let's look at another situation where you might use this. Maybe you are at the office and it is 5:30 p.m.
You and your team have been working on a difficult presentation all afternoon, and everyone is getting a headache.
You could look at your coworkers and say, "We've been working on this for 6 hours. Let's call it a day."
Or, if you are doing some heavy yard work outside on a Sunday, you might say, "It's getting dark, so I think I'm going to call it a day."
Now it is your turn to practice. Say it out loud with a big sigh of relief. Repeat after me. We've been working for 6 hours. Let's call it a day. We've been working for 6 hours. Let's call it a day.
That sounded great. It actually feels good physically just to say it, doesn't it?
It really does. It's a verbal release of stress. Okay, let's move to our 5th and final phrase on the tour.
This one is a little bit more philosophical, but we use it constantly.
Time flies, time flies.
This idiom means that time passes incredibly quickly, almost as if it has wings and is flying away from you into the clouds.
We use this when we are surprised by how fast a moment, a day, or even an entire year has disappeared.
Think about the seasons. You buy a new heavy winter coat, and suddenly it's spring. You plant some small flowers in the spring, and suddenly it's the middle of a hot summer.
And before you even realize what happened, you are looking at orange autumn leaves falling from the trees. Time just never stops moving.
That actually brings us to a nice rhythmic build. Let's really paint the picture of how time moves through our lives.
I love these. Go for it, Alex.
Sometimes it flies when you are lost in a beautiful song. Sometimes it flies when you are watching the sun go down. And sometimes it flies when you are just sitting on the floor laughing with your best friend.
That is beautifully said. It's so true. It is such a universal human experience.
Thank you. I feel it the most when I look at old photographs.
I feel it the most with my nieces and nephews. I swear, I see them one month and they are tiny babies crawling on the living room floor.
And the next time you visit them?
The next time I visit, they are walking, talking, and asking me complicated questions about dinosaurs that I don't know how to answer.
Kids are the absolute ultimate proof that time flies.
They really are. So, for a daily example sentence, you could say, I can't believe your son is already 10 years old. Time really flies.
Or if you are finishing a really fun vacation at the beach, this week went by so fast. Time flies when you're having fun.
Okay, listener, one last practice sentence for today. Put some real surprise in your voice. Repeat after me. I can't believe it's already midnight. Time flies. I can't believe it's already midnight. Time flies.
Excellent job. You just added 5 incredibly natural native-level phrases to your English toolbox.
And the absolute best part is you can start using them immediately, today.
In fact, I challenge you to use at least one of them before you go to sleep tonight.
Ooh, I like that challenge. Even if you just whisper to yourself, I'm going to call it a day, as you turn off the bedroom lights. It counts.
It absolutely counts. Building real fluency isn't about memorizing 1,000 words at once. It is just about collecting these small, everyday habits.
Well, Alex, speaking of small habits and looking at the clock,
I know. I am looking at it too. The clock is undefeated.
I think it might be time for us to finally call it a day on this episode.
We've talked about time so much today, I actually feel like I respect it a little bit more.
Me too. Although, let's be completely honest, I am still probably going to be running late tomorrow morning.
I would expect nothing less from you, Sarah. And I will be sitting right here drinking my weird grassy tea, waiting for you.
Some things never change, and that's exactly how I like it. To everyone listening out there, we want to say a massive thank you.
Yes, whether you are washing the dinner dishes, walking your dog in the rain, commuting home from a very long day at the office, or even if you are just hiding under a warm blanket.
We are so incredibly grateful that you chose to spend your precious time with us today. We know how busy your life is, and we never take your time for granted.
If you enjoyed hanging out with us today, and if you learned something new that you can actually use, please do us a small favor. Hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel.
It really is the absolute best way to support the podcast, and it makes sure you never miss a new episode. We are building a really lovely, supportive community here, and we want you in it.
Now, if you want to keep improving, we have the perfect next step for you.
Today we talked a lot about time and how we never seem to have enough of it, especially for studying a language.
So, if you feel like you are way too busy to learn English, we have a video that will completely change your strategy.
If this episode helped you, tap the next video on your screen right now to learn about fluency in 5 minutes a day with the chunking method.
It is a brilliant, practical technique. It teaches you how to take just tiny 5-minute pieces of your busy day and turn them into real, lasting fluency.
No more sitting at a desk for 2 painful hours. Just short, powerful bursts of learning that actually fit into your real life. You are going to love it.
Click that video right now, and we will see you over there.
Have a wonderful, relaxing rest of your day. Remember to be kind to yourself. This is Sarah.
And this is Alex. You've been listening to the Peak English Podcast. Bye.
Bye, everyone. See you in a bit.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your Speak English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.